It's unclear who, but someone tied to a Katy shooting that killed 3 people was running for their lives that night. The timestamp shows the person runs out of view at around 2:13 a.m., and not too long after, a car flies by. A different camera on the same house then picks up what sounds like rapid gunfire. And then another car flies by. The shooting started here at this short-term rental during a birthday party, according to investigators. Lauren Welch says her brother Nicholas King and his girlfriend Alicia Rice went together. And by morning, her family got word of a triple homicide at the same address.
Alicia Rice and Nicholas King, 2 young souls in the prime of their lives, had dreams as vast as the Texas sky. Alicia, a recent college graduate, was brimming with excitement for law school, her eyes set on championing justice. Nicholas, a former college basketball player, had traded his jersey for a prison guard uniform, his heart full of dedication to maintain law and order. United by love and shared dreams, they were building a life together. Nicholas, the epitome of kindness and respect, had recently slipped a promise ring onto Alicia's finger, a tangible commitment to their shared future. Their love story was a testament to their shared belief in the power of dreams and the strength of their bond. Yet unbeknownst to them, a dark cloud loomed on the horizon, threatening to shatter their dreams. January 21st, 2024, in Katy, Texas, Alicia and Nicholas received an invitation that would forever change their lives. The day had started like any other. The morning air was crisp, the sun was shining, and the plans for the evening were set. A simple house party, thrown by their mutual friend Michael Adobo to celebrate his 24th birthday. Anticipation filled the atmosphere as the couple prepared for what was supposed to be a night of laughter, fun, and celebration. As the sun began to set, the party kicked off. The house was filled with familiar faces, old friends, and a sense of camaraderie. The music was loud, drinks were flowing, and there was an undeniable energy in the air. Michael, the birthday boy, was the life of the party, his infectious laughter echoing throughout the house. Alicia and Nicholas, deeply in love, were the picture of happiness, their smiles lighting up the room. But as the clock continued to tick, a sense of unease began to creep in. Jalen McIntyre, a fellow partygoer, was seen arguing heatedly with a few of the guests. His aggressive demeanor stood out against the festive atmosphere, casting a shadow over the room. As the night wore on, this sense of unease gradually turned into palpable tension. Jalen's arguments escalated, his voice growing louder and his words more aggressive. Despite attempts from others to defuse the situation, Jalen seemed to be on a path of destruction, his anger growing with each passing minute. And then, in a shocking turn of events, Jalen pulled out a gun. The sight of the weapon sent a wave of terror through the room, turning the once cheerful party into a scene of chaos and fear. As the night deepened, so did the tension, culminating in a moment that would change everything. Little did Alicia and Nicholas know that this was the last party they would ever attend, the last time they would be seen alive. This was the night that would forever be etched in the memories of those who survived. A night of tragedy that would shatter the dreams of a young couple in love. Jalen McIntyre, a partygoer, drew a gun with a laser, and the party descended into chaos. A hush fell over the crowd as the partygoers eyed the deadly weapon in Jalen's hand. The ticking of the clock in the background seemed to echo the heartbeats of everyone present. In a shocking turn of events, Jalen, without any word of warning, shot Michael Adobo. The room filled with screams, and the once joyful gathering turned into a horrifying scene of terror. Adobo, the birthday boy, fell to the floor, his life snuffed out in an instant. The music that had been playing in the background was drowned out by the ringing of gunshots, the desperate cries of the attendees, and the smashing of glass as people tried to escape the nightmare. Pandemonium ensued as the partygoers scrambled for cover, their minds filled with fear and confusion. The once lively house was now a battlefield, with chaos reigning supreme. Amidst the bedlam, Alicia and Nicholas, the young couple deeply in love, found themselves caught in the crossfire. In the kitchen, where they had been sharing laughter and dreams just moments before, Alicia and Nicholas.
New at 10, we are hearing from two grief-stricken families after their loved ones were gunned down at a birthday party in Katy over the weekend.
3 people died. 2 others were rushed to the hospital from this short-term rental home off Russet Leaf Trace near on Sunday morning. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says a fight turned into a shootout, which left 3 24-year-olds dead. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry is live at the Sheriff's Office tonight after speaking with family members in mourning. Bryce?
Daniela and Keith, the 3 victims fatally shot were in Katy for a birthday party. Family members say one of them celebrating his 24th. But tonight, as this investigation continues and no one has been charged, one family member tells me her brother was shot dead amongst familiar faces and friends.
That day, Sunday, now is the absolute worst day of my life.
Lauren Welch should have been going to brunch with her little brother and her sister-in-law Sunday morning, but when she didn't hear from them,
I just knew something was wrong. He's a stand-up guy. If he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it.
She followed his phone's location to this home in Katy, where deputies shared the awful news.
To lose your life amongst friends is just, it's crazy. It's what my brain can't compute.
You're unassigned or you're available. We'll get to this scene right now.
The scene off Russet Leaf Trace, described by Sheriff Ed Gonzalez as chaotic, where 24-year-olds Nicholas King, Alicia Rice, and Michael Oboto all shot to death, while Oboto's family says he celebrated his birthday. Investigators say bullets flew in and outside of the house, but they still haven't revealed who fired or why.
It's unbelievable. You know, why can't my daughter just go to a party with her fiance, have a good time without somebody just coming in and acting a fool?
Rice's mother says her daughter had a bright future, a recent graduate from St. Mary's University who worked full-time while getting her degree and always carried honors.
Now it's just been cut short, and now my husband and I and our family have to live with that grief. The most amazing little sister that I could possibly ask for. I just want her to let her know that she's loved and I would do anything for her.
According to the medical examiner's office, Rice passed just 14 minutes before King, the couple both dying in the kitchen.
But there's something so beautiful about a couple loving each other so deeply, living to the end of their days together.
Their voices shaking as they described the horrifying scene. Within minutes, the wailing sirens of law enforcement vehicles filled the air, their red and blue lights piercing the darkness. As they entered the house, the officers were met with a chilling scene. The lifeless bodies of Alicia and Nicholas were discovered in the kitchen, their hands still entwined, their dreams of a future together shattered. In the aftermath of the chaos, a grim picture emerged as law enforcement arrived to a scene of tragedy. The once innocent birthday party had turned into a night of horror, leaving behind a trail of devastation, unanswered questions, and broken dreams. As investigators pieced together the tragic night, a troubling video emerged. A neighbor's security camera had captured the chaos that unfolded at the party. It was this footage that led them to Jalen McIntyre. Found in possession of a high-capacity handgun, Jalen was arrested on charges of capital murder. The arrest, however, was only the beginning. The investigators were faced with a puzzle of connections and motives. Jalen was known to the partygoers, yet his reasons for the attack remained shrouded in mystery. And while he was charged for the deaths of Alicia and Nicholas, there were still unanswered questions about his connection to the other attendees and if there were any additional charges to be made. The investigation was painstaking. Every thread of evidence, every interview, every clue was meticulously examined. But as the days turned into weeks, the answers remained elusive. The connection between Jalen and the partygoers was unclear, and the possibility of additional charges was still on the table. Meanwhile, the community grappled with the loss. The shockwaves of the tragedy were felt far and wide. Friends and family of Alicia and Nicholas were left grieving, their dreams shattered by the senseless act of violence. While justice is sought for Alicia and Nicholas, the mystery surrounding that fateful night remains. The search for answers continues, and the hope for closure persists, even in the face of such a devastating tragedy. As we reflect on the lives lost that tragic night, our hearts reach out. We remember Alicia Rice and Nicholas King, Two young souls intertwined in love and dreams, tragically taken from us. We extend our deepest sympathies to their friends and family, their absence a void that cannot be filled. Amidst the sorrow, we honor the bravery of Michael Adobo, who stood up in the face of danger. May their love and memories endure, and may the brave actions of Michael Adobo be remembered in the face of danger.